Avaya has changed my life.
Avaya has made me the woman I am today.
Avaya is my home.
Avaya is personal freedom.
Avaya is the reason my life continuously improves.
Let everyone in your life know about Avaya.
Everyone needs to know about this amazing company.
Thank you, Avaya, for appearing in my inbox.
What Ike Allen and Andy Anderson have created at Avaya is what the world needs.
Our guest is going to be talking about how to develop soaring self-esteem with a life-changing 3-step system. And that guest is Dr. Joe Rubino. Hi, Joe.
Hi, Annie. Great to be with you.
Yeah, it's great to have you back. We've done this before, and I'm super excited to dive in with you again. And I want to share a little bit about the work you do before we do that. So for those of you who don't know, Dr. Joe Rubino is the CEO of the Center for Personal Reinvention, and he is acknowledged as one of the world's foremost experts on the topic of elevating self-esteem. He is a life-changing personal development and success coach on how to restore self-esteem, achieve business success, maximize joy, and ultimate fulfillment in life and productivity. He's also known for his groundbreaking work in personal and leadership development, in building effective teams, in enhancing things like communication skills and listening, in life and business coaching, and optimal life planning. And his 12 best-selling books and audio programs are available in 23 languages and in 58 countries. So, Joe, Tammy and I thought you'd be perfect for this event, obviously, based on your, vast experience in the world of self-esteem. So I know one of the books that you've written is called The Self-Esteem Cure, and clearly you're really passionate about, helping people elevate and increase their self-esteem. So why is this so important?
Well, in the last 27 years that I've been working with people to elevate their self-esteem, I found that it's the most critical component to distinguish people who are happy and fulfilled and are really passionate about life, those who have high self-esteem. And unlike most people's definition of high self-esteem, mine is a little bit different. Many people collapse high self-esteem with high ego. And for me, they couldn't be more opposite. High ego is about being self-centered. High self-esteem is about being so confident in yourself that you have the ability to contribute who you are to other people, and to hold themselves, and hold others in high regard, and to look for win-win golden rule type solutions to problems as you move forward. So it's about having personal power where we actually have the ability to influence people. It's about feeling significant, knowing that you're loved and that you love others. It's about having compassion for yourself and for others so that you forgive yourself when you make mistakes. You forgive others when they make mistakes. It's about being virtuous, feeling like you're a good person, and confident in the fact that you're not creating a facade to hide the person that you are because you're ashamed of the things that you continually do. And it's about that win-win situation where you look for what I call integrity, which is a win for me, a win for you, and a win for the world, so that everyone benefits in all things. So it's really a higher level of being that includes self-confidence as well.
I love it. Thank you. Thanks for drawing that distinction, because that is very important to get the difference between, yes, the having a big head or a big ego versus having a healthy, high, elevated self-esteem. That's really important. And I love also that you tied in the compassion, right? Because if we have a high self-esteem, then, we make a mistake, that compassion and forgiveness towards ourselves, and then of course taking that out into the world. So that's super, super important. So I'd love it if you dive in a little bit to tell us, what are the effects of low self-esteem? A lot of people struggle with self-esteem. So what kind of an effect can that have on their lives?
Well, if you look at all the ills that plague our society, everything from alcoholism to school dropouts to violent crime to poverty, not living one's optimal life, they're all sourced in low self-esteem. Relationship problems, anger, sadness, fear, all of our negative emotions, they're all sourced in not feeling confident about expecting great things to come up in your life and in the people that you love, their lives. So when we have a positive expectation for our own success, to be happy, fulfilled, abundant, just live joyfully, then we possess high self-esteem. And when we don't, we do things that self-sabotage. And that's when all the bad things happen to us, because we live defensively. We think that there's a shortage of money, a shortage of love, a shortage of fulfilling work. And so we have to get others before they get us. And that's when we damage our relationships. That's when we put other people off with our energy. And that's when we are less than happy, abundant, and fulfilled.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you. It's good to see the other side of the coin in the world of why is it that we would want to build, high self-esteem and all of that. Obviously, there's a lot of things that can happen on the other side that aren't appealing. So, I know the title of this talk, you talk about these 3 different steps to creating this high self-esteem. So what are those 3 steps?
Well, I've created a system where if you go through these 3 steps, which I'll explain in 1 minute, you will have done the 3 necessary components to move yourself forward with velocity in the world. The first is healing and completing your past. And the reason why that's so important is because early on in life, when we were children, we all had some sort of an upsetting event that began the downward spiral for most of us. And that upsetting event was something where someone said or did something, or we bought into somebody else's negativity about who we are, about who other people are, and about what the world is all about. Maybe that the world is a harsh place or a dangerous place or a scarce place. And that initial interpretation that we made about who we are and others and the world influenced us so that we move forward in our lives, creating a filter through which we see the world. And the more experiences, the more evidence that we create that says, that's just who I am. I'm not that smart. I'm not that good looking. People don't like me. Whatever the negative thought process that we create initially when someone said or did something or we bought into a negative comment or action, it gets reinforced over and over again, so that by the time we're a teenager or in our 20s or an adult, as we go through life, we lose perspective that we either made it up or we bought into somebody else's negativity. And as a result, we just have it that that's just we are, the way we are. And there's not a whole lot that we can do about it. So healing and completing our past means that we are free from all of these mistaken negative interpretations about ourselves and about who other people are. And we can move forward powerfully without that residue, that slime that keeps us stuck in suffering and repeating the same mistakes over and over again, because we can't be with the image of how we hold ourselves. So when we're complete, we're whole, we can move on. We have forgiven ourselves. We have empathy for other people. We can step into their world and realize that whatever they did out of self-preservation or doing the best they knew how to do. And although we don't condone bad behavior, what it means is that we aren't necessarily going to be at the effect of their bad behavior. We're not prone to being subject to the bad things that they say about us or to us, or we're free and clear, so that we can hug anybody or we can not hold that resentment. We can forgive ourselves and forgive others, because we can't forgive others for things that we haven't forgiven ourselves for, because we will find the same faults in others that we see in ourselves, because we can't be with those things. And we can live with gratitude. Gratitude is about being grateful for every blessing that we have and pre-paving more blessings that will come in the future, because we expect good things to happen, because we are confident in who we are. We know that we live out of contribution to others and that the world is an abundant place, so there's no scarcity. And so when we're healed and complete, we have reinterpreted all of the bad things that happened to us that have given us anger or sadness or fear or created negativity in our lives. We've forgiven the people who have hurt us. We've forgiven ourselves for hurting other people. And we can then move on to the second component of the system, which is doing a proper assessment of what's so right now, currently in our lives, so we can see what's working and what's missing that, if put into place, would support us to move forward powerfully in the world. So the 6 key areas of life are our health and appearance, our wealth and our finances, our career or our profession, our job, our relationships, the area of personal and spiritual development, and the area of having fun and recreating and pursuing our passions. So in all of those 6 key areas, if we were to rate those areas 1 to 10, we're either living the dream in each area, we are so happy about who we are, or there's something missing that if put in place would support that area. So let me give you an example. Let's start with wealth and finances. If money's no object and we can contribute freely to our lives and to the lives of the ones that we love and to our charities and our passions, then we're financially free, we're abundant, we're prosperous. If we're not a 10 in that area, then something's missing that can have us be more abundant. Maybe our relationship to money is keeping us back. Maybe we're in unfulfilling work. Maybe we have it that money is scarce and that we've created that reality for ourselves. And it's the same with all those other areas. So health and appearance, again, if we're not happy with our appearance, what needs to be changed? Do we need to have some dental work done? Do we need to lose some weight? Do we need to exercise? So there's lots of different places to go when we do a proper assessment of what's so in our lives. We also can create a vision for what our life would look like if we had a magic wand and we could wave it magically over our lives and have things transform so that we're living our best life. We're living ideally. We have our dreams that we're living the dream. And when we have a concrete vision that's about being the qualities that we want to be known for, the qualities that when people associate with our name, they say, oh, that person's about fun or about love or about contribution or about generosity or about great teacher or the life of the party or whatever it is that we want people to be associated with us. So we can actually live from a declaration of those qualities and manifest them into the world, as opposed to the negative self-talk that tells us, well, you're not that smart, you're not that good socially, these are all the problems that you have, and those are the things that we focus on and make large. So when we're clear about what our life purpose is, let's start at the top. Our life purpose is about the things that we love to do. We're living the dream. When we're either living our life purpose or we're not. And everyone has a life purpose, but most people don't know what their life purpose is. It's something you get to declare. It's something that if you were to live the next 400 years, you would never get tired of doing whatever it is that you're doing that's a function of your life purpose because you love doing it. I'll share with you a little personal story. Up until I was 35 years old, I was very introverted, very uninspired. I was resigned that I was just going through the motions of life. I didn't know I had a life purpose. I was inspiring no one, including myself. Well, through the help of some coaches, I just determined that my life purpose was to be an inspiration first to myself and then to others. And so as long as I'm inspiring people, I'm living my life purpose. So every day when I meet people, my job is to leave them a little bit better than I found them. Have them happier, more fulfilled, with an idea that will move their lives forward, something that will support them in some way. And when I'm living my life purpose, I'm happy. Other people I connect with better. I'm fulfilled. I'm abundant. Everything works. When I'm not, then there's something missing. So your life purpose is something that you're known for, typically. Something that people say, geez, that Andy really lights up my life when I meet her. I love being with her. She's a great teacher. Whatever it is. And the life purpose is the umbrella under which everything else now can mesh. Mm-hmm. So the vision is about being the qualities that align with your life purpose, the qualities that you want to be known for. If you were to declare the top 10 qualities that you want to be known for, you're living these qualities, and that's part of your vision. It's about doing, and that's at work and at play, being the qualities that you want to be known for, doing the things that you're passionate about so that you're loving life. It's about having things around you that matter, the toys, the friends, the family, the plants, the pets, the beautiful environment, whatever it is that's important to you. So being, doing, having, and fourthly, contributing. So any vision that's only about ourselves is limiting and inspiring to no one. So a powerful vision includes others. So how are you contributing your gifts to the world? What are your gifts? Are you making them larger each day? Are you living those gifts? Are you developing them further? Are you sharing them with others? Or do you keep them under a bushel basket? You hiding your light. So when you're living your life purpose, you have a powerful vision that's a contribution to others and yourself. Now you can set goals. And this is the third part I'm getting into already of the 3-step process. Life purpose, vision, goals, short-term, long-term, medium-term goals that align with your vision and are a function of living your life purpose. For your goals to be realized, you need to take action. So we call a daily action commitment a key component to what you're going to be doing to live deliberately, to live on purpose, to hit your goals, by doing behaviors, constantly evaluating, putting into place what's missing so that you can be on track. It's kind of like a heat-seeking missile. You launch the missile and it goes off course, but eventually it seeks the heat, it readjusts, it comes on and it hits its target. And that's what we can do with our lives. We can evaluate, ask ourselves what's missing that if put into place would have us be more on track to achieving the things that we want in our lives. So we're actually not only taking decisive, focused, committed action, but we're also in personal development, because many people think that action is enough. But what will happen when we make a commitment, when we set a goal? Problems show up, and people have a very funny interpretation around problems. They think that they're bad. They think that they're to be avoided. And so problems derail us from achieving our dream life. So instead of letting problems derail us, we can know that each problem holds within it the gift that we need to take ourselves to the next level. So when we can embrace problems, when we can welcome them, when we can declare them and say, this is the problem and I'm looking for a solution that will support me to move my life forward in this area, because this is where I've been stopped in the past, whether that's money, whether that's relationships, whether that's fulfilling work, whether that's having fun, whether that's health, whatever it is. So we get to actually be in research around who am I being that this problem is showing up around me, and what's missing that if put into place would help me to move it forward. Now, you might need a coach. You will need a coach to help you to see the things that you're blind to, the things that you don't know about why you're stuck in this area. You might have be served by having a mastermind group, people that are looking with you to say, well, did you think of this, Andy? Did you look here? Well, what about this? This is what I see. So other people looking with you to solve problems to help you to move forward. So when you're in this personal development arena, you're taking action daily. You're growing, you're evolving, you're sharing your gifts with the world, you're enjoying the process. And that's the key, because most people go throughout their lives trying to get through the best they can, not enjoying the process. And if you're not enjoying the process, you're not really having success in life, because all the money in the world isn't going to provide you with fulfillment or joy or happiness if you're hating what you're doing. That's where I was. I was a very successful dentist by society standards, and I didn't enjoy what I was doing. I enjoyed some aspects of it, but my coach had asked me at the time, if money weren't an object, would you continue to practice? I was 35 years old, and I said, absolutely not. He said, well, then why are you? And I said, because I make a lot of money and because I don't know what else I would do. And he said, that's no excuse. You can do lots of things. And not believing in myself, I said, yeah, sure, right. I couldn't do anything. I didn't know that I could speak. As a matter of fact, I couldn't speak because I told myself that I was an extreme introvert and I was lousy in communication. I didn't know that I could write. I didn't know that I had other talents. And we all have these talents that many are dormant. But when we set a goal, when we commit to being someone that stretches us, we now have a master game that we can play a game that says this is fulfilling, this is rewarding, this is a game worth playing. And it involves risking, it involves getting outside of our comfort zones, it involves reinventing ourselves. So in 1991, I created the Center for Personal Reinvention to support people to reinvent themselves from a declaration of the person they've decided to be, as opposed to the person that they think that they are, that there's not a whole lot that they can do to influence. And so that's a long answer to a short question.
Awesome. There are the 3 steps, everybody. Thank you so much. I love it. I love all of it. That was really good. And I love that I don't think the last time we did an interview together that you shared the story about being a dentist and having that, being unfulfilling for you. So I didn't realize that that's an awesome, shift in your work and what you've done. So that's cool. So I'd love to talk a little bit about perfection, because this is one of my favorite topics. And I know that you talk about it too, because it's something that really stops us. And I think really keeps people down in the world of confidence and moving forward and successes in life. So what are your thoughts on, perfectionism and how that can affect us?
Well, there is no such thing as perfection. And we have it that until we achieve perfection, then we won't be fulfilled. We won't be happy. We won't have achieved what we need. And so it's a setup. It's a constant opportunity to disempower ourselves. So rather than seek perfection, which is unattainable, I'm going to invite you to give up your right to be perfect and to instead seek excellence, to seek betterment, so that you're a little bit better today than you were yesterday and a little bit better tomorrow than you were today. So when we give up our right to be perfect, we forgive ourselves for our mistakes. We know that each mistake contains within it a gift for us, a gift for our knowledge, for our empathy, for our wisdom, a gift that allows us to grow and become more of the person that we can be. And so when we give up our right to be perfect and we learn from our mistakes, we now can use life to train us. So every problem that comes about, we look at, okay, what is the universe telling me here that I need to learn that this is showing up around me? A great question is, who am I being that this chronic condition is showing up in my life all the time? Whether that chronic condition is poverty or broken relationships or unhappiness and depression or, unable to hold down fulfilling work or whatever it is. It's showing up for a reason. It's just not an accident that it's there. And it's a gift to us, because when we consider that we can shift from who we're being by putting into place something that was missing that would have us be different. Most of us give up whenever the going gets tough because we're not truly committed to this personal reinvention. It's been said that we're all committed to something, but most of us are committed to our convenience. And so it's kind of like a fork in the road that we come to when the going gets tough with that fork, and we can choose. We can choose the path of convenience where we quit. We go back to our usual habits, which don't support us. Maybe that's telling people off or reacting negatively, emotionally with anger or sadness or fear. Maybe it's about stepping over things. Maybe it's about making other people wrong. Whatever it is that is our winning formula, so to speak, that has kept us in survival mode, doing the best that we know how to do, we can instead stop and evaluate at that fork. We could say, okay, what am I committed to here? What qualities do I want to display into the world such that I can create a different result? So what is the result that I have typically created in my chronic condition that doesn't support me? So let's say it's poverty. Okay, so what have I done? Well, maybe I've sabotaged myself around money, or maybe I've sabotaged myself around relationships. Maybe I've reacted in anger, or I've retreated and self-sabotage because I've let other people down. Whatever that chronic habit is that hasn't supported you, now you can go 180 degrees and do something different. You can actually take a decisive action that supports you. You can develop a new quality that is in alignment with your new commitment, as opposed to doing the same things and wondering why things never work out for you. So it's really critical to let life train you and to keep developing more distinctions around qualities that you'll develop. So as an example, when I was in my resignation mode, I would retreat from problems. So one of the qualities that I was to develop was resiliency in the face of problems, looking for the gifts that they are, developing myself to hang in there in a situation where I would have quit ordinarily, where I would have retreated and hidden under the desk because I was afraid to deal with people. So we all have these Achilles heels, let's call them, these weak muscles that can be developed, but we have to be honest with ourselves. And sometimes we don't even see what's stopping us because we're blind to it. We don't know what we don't know. And that's where a coach comes in. A coach can say, well, here's what I see. And will ask us questions that support us to take a good hard look at ourselves and to realize where we're self-sabotaging and what's missing that if put into place would help us to take a new direction.
Awesome. Thank you. I think my favorite line in there of that, when you just answered that question, was like being committed to our own convenience, right? I've never thought about it that way, right? We are committed to something, and it's the convenience of those old patterns and habits. So, and I love that you also, bring up the importance of a coach, because it's really, when you can't see something that you don't even know that's there, then it's really hard to be moving forward. That is why it's called a blind spot, so I think that's super key. So how about, you've touched a little bit on negative self-talk, but I'd love to dive in deeper to that. So everyone knows we all have this, show in our head that continuously streams and says all sorts of interesting, not very supportive things to us. So how do we deal with that? How do we navigate through that? Can we make it go away? What do we do?
Well, it'll never go away. It'll always be there for the rest of your life. I like to think of it as a little gremlin on our shoulder that is there to support our development, but we can manage it. So the first key to managing it is to recognize when it's speaking its nonsense into our ear. So it's important to distinguish between negative self-talk and intuition. Many people think it's their intuition telling them, Andy, why don't you keep your mouth shut? You're saying another stupid thing again, or, people don't like you. Why would you even consider going to a party when look at every time you've gone to a party, what has been the result? You've had a miserable time. You've gone home feeling like a jerk. You don't have nobody to talk to. And we think that's our intuition. That's not our intuition. That's our negative self-talk. Our intuition is sourced in our higher self. It's based in love, and it's always right on. Our negative self-talk is based in fear. So when we have that thought, we can say, thank you for sharing. Now, shut up and take a hike. And we can use that information to move ourselves forward powerfully. So if our negative self-talk is saying, what's the matter with you? People don't like you. Well, you can say, okay, if people don't like me, who am I being that's creating that sort of energy that's repelling people? Not like it's something that I can't change. So what are the characteristics of someone who has charisma? They're fun, they're happy, they like other people, they contribute to people, they're light energy. So how can I be those qualities? How can I make somebody's day a little bit better than I found them? How can I smile and acknowledge someone or compliment them? How can I be somebody's friend? And how can I take the focus off of my own petty concerns and look at contributing to somebody else in that moment? So there isn't an area or a topic that is based in our negative self-talk that we can't manage and take some decisive action that addresses it. So the decisive action will be based upon the qualities that we want to develop in ourselves, the energy that we want to establish in our relationships and in our communication with other people, and the person that we've decided to be. So we actually can reinvent ourselves in that moment by using this challenge. Okay, here's the negativity. So the negative self-talk says, okay, you were offered a business opportunity, but every time you've tried one, you've lost money. You've ended up worse in the end than were originally. And so you're horrible in business. So is that true? No, that's an interpretation that you're horrible in business. Maybe you have been horrible in business, but it's not something you were born with. So who are you being moment by moment that can shift out of this negative interpretation, this negative quality, and what qualities do you need to develop to be abundant? So maybe you need a vehicle that will support your abundance. Maybe you need a coach that can show you a way, a mentor that has been abundant, and you can follow in that mentor's footsteps. Maybe you need to believe in yourself, and maybe you've self-sabotaged because every time you've made a stride forward, you've taken 2 steps back because you've done something to throw a monkey wrench into the situation. So we all have the ability to learn from our mistakes, to manage the negative self-talk, to actually move forward in a way that empowers us and empowers our relationships with others. And it's the sort of thing that you need to get comfortable with being bad at it until you become good at it. So give up your right to beat yourself up. Give up your right to invalidate yourself. Give up your right to, be stopped by problems, and enjoy the process. Know that it's all good and it's all there for your edification, for your benefit, for your growth. And remember that whenever things are looking the bleakest, it's a sign that there's something you're not getting, a sign that there's something I need to get here that's going to be a breakthrough for me, or an insight that's going to move me forward. And give yourself permission to hang in there, hang into the conversation, hang into the relationship, get help, get coaching, get mentoring, be in research around who you're being, that this is showing up around you, and what's missing that if put into place would support you to move forward.
Awesome. Thank you. So, I know a lot of people struggle to face this stuff, right? To face the negative self-talk, to face the low self-esteem, the insecurities, the childhood traumas, all sorts of things. So what, in your opinion, what does that cost us if we're not willing to face it?
Well, the costs are enormous. It costs us our life. It costs us our happiness. It costs us our relationships, our abundance, our fulfillment. One of the things that we're not aware of is what it's costing us. And so we will quit. We will do the same things over and over again. We will justify our behavior. Why? Because we're not clear about the costs. Once we're clear about the costs in terms of the life that we are bound to live if we don't address the situation, then we realize that we have no choice other than to be in development around having a breakthrough in this area. Because the costs are so great, the costs in terms of our happiness, our productivity, our relationships, our fulfillment, our fun quotient, they demand to be honored. And when we sell ourselves short because we don't believe in ourselves, when we don't have that self-esteem or that self-confidence to trust that the process is here to show me a way out. Do I have the confidence in myself enough? Do I believe in myself? Do I believe that I have the ability to learn and to grow here? And that's the key, because when you can enjoy the process in the worst of times, when the times get toughest, that's when you realize that you have the most to learn. The most insights are coming. The most breakthroughs are awaiting you. And you've been given these gifts. God, the universe, however you want to put that, has given you gifts, has given you opportunities, has opened doors for you when you yourself have committed to stay in this process. And your very commitment to the process will have you to see doors that you didn't even know existed before. We'll see opportunities that would have gone by invisible before. There will be serendipitous happenings that you'll say, you meet someone and you don't know why you met them, but if your commitment is to learn, okay, this person came into my life for a reason, either for me to support them or for them to support me or for us to support each other. And it's my job to get what the connection here is. What do I have to get from this person? What can they teach me? And it's the people that we hold in the least high regard are the people that can teach us the most. Because when we already know something, then we preclude any opportunities that don't fit with what we already know. And it's the things that fall into what we don't know where the greatest growth comes. So every person has the ability to give you an insight, to contribute to you something that you didn't have before, especially the people who you hold as less capable and competent. And if you hang in there in the conversation, maybe they'll teach you empathy. Maybe they'll teach you forgiveness. Maybe they'll teach you compassion. Maybe they'll teach you generosity. But they're there to teach you something, and it's your job to get the lesson.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. That's great. Do you have any last insights you'd like to leave everyone with before we hop off?
Well, I have two things. I have a gift also.
Oh, we have a gift. Excellent.
The gift is, it has three components. The first is a 45-minute audio called 7 Steps to Soaring Self-Esteem. It comes with 7 mini course lessons. Each lesson has an exercise along with it. They come into your inbox about every few days or so. So you'll actually get a distinction, a principle, and an exercise to realize it and make it become real for you in your life. Map it onto your own life. And then about 3 weeks into the program, you'll receive an hour-long video that I did for public television called The #1 Ingredient for Success and Happiness in Life, and it's about high self-esteem. So that's a gift. The URL, shall I give that, or do we have?
So everyone watching right now, you're actually going to be given that gift prior to this event actually airing. So when you register for the event, or in that week before the event begins, you'll be given that. So you can say the URL if you want to, but they'll have a link to click through on as well.
It's selfesteemsystem.com. Selfesteemsystem.com.
Great.
And the last thing is a challenge, and that is that you have a choice. You can have the last hour be an interesting experience, perhaps, or you could have it be the beginning of a transformation in your life, the beginning of a personal reinvention, the beginning of you taking some area of your life that's not working optimally and putting whatever is missing into place to make your life manifest differently. Whether it's just doing the exercises in the free gift, whether it's getting coaching, whether it's being in the research that now you're open to personal development, maybe where you weren't before. So my invitation to you is to not let this opportunity go by. Step into a new possibility for yourself. You're magnificent. Everyone is. And if you're not realizing your full potential, if you're not happy, fulfilled, abundant, sharing that abundance with others, just enjoying life, passionate about every day, living your life purpose. If you don't have a powerful vision that is fueling your life, my invitation to you is to start enjoying the process of life, to put these missing elements into place, and to start taking the focus off of your own petty concerns and contributing your gifts to the world. We all have them, and the world will not be the same without your gifts. We're at a critical point in our time right now where there's so much negativity, there's so much anger and hatred, there's so much division in our world. We need people like you to go and to be an inspiration to people, to let them know that a new possibility is out there, because there can't be terrorism, there can't be hatred, there can't be violence when people expect great things in life. And that's the possibility that we all can be for others.
That whole last 20, 30 seconds, I just had the chills. I love it. And that's so true, right? We live in this very negative time. There's so much going on in the world of social media and media in general, and so much just negative stuff, coming our way. So I think that's just amazing and inspiring. I appreciate all the work you do, Joe. And thanks for sharing this message today.
Thanks for all your great work, Andy. And thanks to our viewers today too.
All right. Thanks, Joe. And thanks everyone for tuning in, and hear us to our collective journey to harnessing our inner power and creating unstoppable self-confidence. Bye, everybody.
Avaya has changed my life.
Avaya has made me the woman I am today.
Avaya is my home.
Avaya is personal freedom.
Avaya is the reason my life continuously improves.
Let everyone in your life know about Avaya.
Everyone needs to know about this amazing company.
Thank you, Avaya, for appearing in my inbox.
What Ike Allen and Andy Anderson have created at Avaya is what the world needs.